what's up? It's your girl Kayla. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. It's so great to see you all again. Today's video is going to be all about me answering questions that I asked on my Instagram. I said, ask me anything, I'm going to answer them in the YouTube video. So I'm super excited because y'all have been DMing me like crazy, like when am I going to post this video? So here we are. So I have a lot of questions, really, maybe like I'm going to choose probably like, let's say 20 questions, and I'm gonna try my best to answer all of them. So the first question says, how do you feel about fractional property ownership? So in my personal opinion, I think that real estate is an amazing investment, and I personally feel like if fractional investment is the only way that you can get into the market, I have nothing against that. My only disclaimer would be to really choose a partner that you do trust, and somebody that you would be comfortable doing business with. If you're in a relationship with somebody, just always make sure to have contracts or certain things put in place, because if you were to fall out with that person in the future, that is a contract of business. You may have a loan situated with that property. There can be just different aspects of that experience that can come back to like bite you in the behind later on if you don't upfront set up certain types of contracts and specifications around how you actually want to operate in that way. But I do think fractional property ownership is something I definitely recommend. A lot of people go in and then flip a house, they make money and get out. There's multiple ways to go into a fractional situation with someone, and I definitely would recommend it. Just be careful and cautious of who you decide to go into it with. My next question says, I'm in school for cybersecurity. Any advice? Also, how can I get into tech sales? So you're in school for cybersecurity, so that's amazing. You're already into the tech space. What I would say is align with what you're passionate about within tech. Now with tech and sales in general, you don't have to have a specific degree unless you're going to be a sales engineer or the technical specialist in the sales cycle. So in that case, we are gonna, you're saying that you're into cybersecurity. So I think a really great thing to do to start as you're in college would be to look for internships while you're there in sales. So the company I used to work for, IBM, I know they have an amazing internship program called the Summit Program. So you should definitely look into that. But other major companies definitely have internships as well. And a lot more established companies, more than startups to my knowledge, do internships and things of that sort because they've been around for so long and they have those types of programs in place and the funding for it. So I would definitely say to start there. Also, just being into tech sales, any type of sales experience is amazing. So if you worked at maybe Foot Locker when you were in high school or college, or you're in a different type of space where you know how to have skills to sell to people and communicate with clients in a certain aspect and manner, I definitely think that you can get involved as well. So what are some of the apps you use to save and invest? So I personally don't use apps to save and invest. I'm an old school type of girl. I use like an Excel or a piece of paper, and I like to budget every 2 weeks. And I like to save every time I touch money. So for me, if I get some money, I automatically pay my bills and I automatically put money up immediately. And that way I'm able to just know what I have allocated to myself at the end, to where I'm able to effectively spend my money without tapping into certain areas. What you decide on what you need to save and how you need to allocate money is greatly based on your expenses. So the better you become at understanding your expenses, you'll become more versed in understanding how you can say, okay, if I make $10,000 a month, I know how much I need to allocate to different areas. But a lot of people fail to understand how much money they're actually making because they spend it as they get it. So a really great way to stay on top of that is to always budget every single time you get paid. Me personally, I get paid sales commissions every 3 to 4 months on top of a bi-weekly salary, so every other week. So on my every other week, I budget according to my needs in that space, but I always put money up to save and invest. The way I save and invest is a little different. Like I said, I get paid in lump sum. So when I get paid a huge amount of money, I typically save that way versus every 2 weeks. And I still do put away every 2 weeks, but when I say invest or save, it's a lot. I have invested on the apps Robinhood, Webull. So those are two really great apps that you can use to get into investing. I am not on Acorn, but a lot of my friends are. And what that app is able to do is round up your purchases. So every time that you go to the store and make a purchase, it'll round it up and it'll be able to allow you to invest the difference of what you're rounding. So every day when you spend money, you're just starting to allocate and put that money into stock. So I think that's a really great way to get started if you're not really versed in the stock market as well. What are the financial steps you took in order to buy your first house? So I actually have a whole video dedicated to everything that I did to buy my first house. But in short, what I essentially did was I saved money and I basically just bought a house. Like, you know, like the financial steps I would say that you need to really have properly allocated though is making sure that your credit is ready for a home, because your loan, what they're gonna lend you the loan at is highly dependent on your credit score and your salary. So another financial step would be being in a financially stable situation when it comes to your job, because you have to know, you have to be able to afford the loan, and they base that on different aspects of how much money that you're bringing in monthly. If you are an entrepreneur or somebody who is in a space where you don't get paid checks, you don't pay taxes like a regular person, this is a little different of a process. What I would recommend is getting an accountant or a financial advisor. So what got you started in real estate and where do you find your drive? So what really got me started in real estate was that once I moved to Atlanta, I was extremely blessed to be surrounded by so many people. I think I know like 4 or 5 people, maybe even 10, like who do real estate. Like a lot of my close friends do real estate. So I just started to have more and more interactions with the business, understanding what they do, you know, and just being able to see on a day-to-day basis what they do. I took a wholesaling class last year. I'm pretty much into like taking courses and reading books a lot. So there's different areas of real estate. Like as you all have known, like I've done Airbnb, I've done different areas and different facets in buying my first investment property. So I think that really getting into real estate was just for me a curiosity that I had, and I was able to really just, you know, dive in, go take a course. I always ask people questions. Like I'm gonna ask a million questions so that I can get the information I need. So just being open, asking those types of questions and being curious really. And where do I find my drive? I am very goal oriented. So when I have something set in my head that I really want to get or achieve, I feel like I'm the type of individual to where I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. And I just put myself first and like believe that I can do it. Should you ever pay off a credit card charge off? So I personally paid off all my debt, and I thought it was like one of the best decisions. And when you look at it from a perspective of like you're paying interest monthly, like you're gonna pay so much more on the payment than if you just in lump sum just take it and pay it off, because now you're avoiding the reoccurring interest that's gonna keep on coming up. So it really just depends on if you have the funds to do it. But if you do have the funds to do it, credit is way more powerful than cash. We can explore. Like I said, I have so many consultations. So if you're interested in learning more about how to utilize credit and how to get your credit fixed, I also have resources for that available, and you should definitely book a session with me, because I think it'll be really beneficial for you to understand the power of credit, understand how compounding interest works, and how much more you're paying with the interest rates on credit cards. Girl, you be goals. I just want to know how you do it. Give us a tip that we've never heard. So a tip that I feel like people don't want to hear, but they probably have heard, that it's like there's no secret sauce. Like it's really hard work. Like it's really like waking up every day and deciding you're gonna choose yourself and choose like to do the things and that are gonna put you in a predicament to win. So it's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of decision making about, you know, where I should be, what I should be allocating my time to. Like I am a major to-do list type of girl. Like every day I wake up, I have to make a to-do list because I need to be able to cross things off. and see myself effectively progressing. I also think that a really great advice is just to start small. Like the little things that you do every day turn into really big things. And I know this all seems like redundant and you've heard it all over and over again, but the more you actually implement those things into your day-to-day life, you'll start to see the rewards like yield in a different way, because it becomes a routine versus actually, you know, things that you have to do. Like it becomes like your natural innate nature. And when things become your natural innate nature, it just feels like you're living your life and doing things on a day-to-day basis. But if there was something I could tell people like about reaching your goals and achieving them, is like, it's not easy. It takes a lot of discipline and a lot of sacrifice. And a lot of people don't really want to hear that, but that's honestly the truth. I know there's a whole wave of people out here like, you know, you can just manifest and you can sit back, and I am a master manifester, but what I can tell you is I put a lot of work into the things that I want to manifest. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Like Rome wasn't built in a day. Nothing's an overnight success. Like no matter what the internet makes it look like, these people put in a lot of time and work that people just don't see, you know? What is the number one habit that keeps you from falling off your game? The number one habit that I would say is talking to myself. I don't care how crazy it may seem. I talk and I write it down. Like those two things keep me accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like I like success. I like my goals. So the more accountable you are in all aspects of your life, you will start to elevate, because you'll feel bad if you don't really accomplish the things that you're like, it'll mess with you. Like I get really bad anxiety if I don't do what I'm telling myself I know I can do. And just when I say talk to yourself, build yourself up with confidence. Listen to positive affirmations when you go to sleep. Listen to positive affirmations in the morning when you wake up. The first thing that you hear is extremely powerful. I don't have the time every single day to do those things, but what I can tell you is I definitely do them, and I definitely take it serious, because what you hear, what you read, what you write is what you start to believe and you start to perceive, and then that in turn becomes your reality. So I think that's really something that helps me stay off my game, is really holding myself accountable and knowing that if I don't hold myself accountable, I feel really shitty. Like I just feel terrible. So do you own real estate? If so, what? So yes, I do own a rental. I do own my first investment property in Atlanta. I live in my investment property, and the way my house is set up, it is 3 stories. So I was able to rent out the first story, and what I'm currently doing is a technique called rent hacking. So if you're into that, stay tuned. I might have videos around rent hacking for you and how you can do that. What is your niche in tech? So I am an account executive in tech sales, and I am currently, sorry y'all, my back is itching, this looks so awkward. I am currently an account executive in sales, and I work for a data privacy company. So my specific niche is data and privacy. So more security, compliance, privacy, and data. That is my specific niche. What made you get into tech? What made me get into tech is that I just always been into it. It's always been an interest of mine. I went to college for tech, and essentially like I was really torn between doing like computer engineering, computer science. Computer engineering and computer science, and communications. Like I really love people. I love communicating. I love like a very different side, I feel like, that tech than what tech offers. So I feel like I just got really lucky to where my college, Florida State University, ended up offering a major called Information Communication Technology. And what that major was able to do was able to allow me to essentially get into more things that had a balance. Like the major had accounting, advertising, marketing, as well as a lot of technical resources and a lot of different things that I was able to balance out. So I was able to get the best of both worlds, and that's pretty much how I got into tech. It was just an interest of mine, and I had Googled when I got to college my freshman year, like what's gonna be the highest paid industry when I graduate, because like I told you, I love money, and it was like tech, and lo and behold, here we are in the biggest industry in the world. So I just have a skill of seeking out things that grow or scale. I think I'm very strategic in my actions. Like I graduated college early, so you know, for me it was just always about like where the bag at. So That was really what got me into tech, was knowing the type of money that I was going to be able to make when I graduated. I need advice on building credit ASAP. I'll take whatever you got to give. Pay your bills on time. Like, I feel like people think there's this huge secret to credit, or like there's like this like secret sauce. It's like really paying. I have never paid a bill late in my entire lifetime, ever. Like, if I do, it may be like my cable bill or something, like I missed it by a few hours. Like, I wake up the next morning like, oh shit, like I didn't schedule this on my phone or something, like, or I'm just working so much that I completely forgot. But those things don't really hit your credit like within hours and stuff. But outside of that, like, I just really take it serious to pay my bills on time. I think my parents emphasized at a really young age, like, beware of credit cards. Like, they're the devil. Like, don't ever get a credit card unless you need one. Like, I didn't even have a credit card till I was like 21. Like, my first credit card was at 21. And my parents still were able to monitor it. So I wasn't really able to like just spend crazy. And I don't know, it just, y'all don't get a weird feeling like running up a credit card and having all this debt. Like, debt gives me anxiety. Like, I don't want to owe nobody shit. So I can't, like, you know, like, I can't just walk around knowing like I just owe people stuff. So I feel like once you like understand, like, you don't want to owe stuff and you don't want to pay more for something than it really costs, you'll just understand how credit works, what you need to put on your credit, what you need to buy on credit cards to build credit. But you know, building your credit just starts with paying your bills on time. You get a credit card, you open up a few accounts, and you pay the bills on time, and your credit score will raise. Like, it's really that simple. Another question, building credit. Everyone tells you half-ass or to get co-signers, etc. I don't want to get one. Well, you definitely don't have to get a co-signer. Like I said, it's all about paying your bills on time. I mean, at the point you're getting a co-signer, to me, this sounds more like you are already having bad credit and you're needing a way to get access to certain things. So I would suggest credit repair, which means doing disputes, which means paying off your bills. Like, it just really simply comes down to paying off your debt. And if you do owe people money, or like, you know, you're in debt and certain people are calling you, don't ignore them. Like, answer the phone, work out a payment plan with them, tell them your situation, and you have to start paying it. Like, there's really no, like, you owe people money, so there is no way around you getting out of debt when you owe people money. Like, they want their money back. So if you're comfortable, it would be nice to have some transparency about the tech industry. What I can say is that I make over 6 figures. I would really love to get into real estate, but I have no idea where to even begin. Girl, book my consultation. I'm trying to tell y'all, like, if you just sat down with me for an hour, the type of information that I would be able to give you guys is like priceless, because a lot of things just aren't that hard. Like, getting into real estate just takes the want. You know, it's as simple as getting on Google and finding your local online real estate school or in-person real estate school, finding a realtor in your area that you're really interested in, reaching out to them, maybe ask them to be a mentor, maybe ask them to do some scud work, find some deals for them. Like, throw yourself into the position where, like, it's not always about money and it's always about learning. I think that when people take the approach to learn more, and other people who are really successful are more open to people who don't really come with begging hands out, like, tell me what to do. It's more like, hey, I've already taken X, Y, and Z steps, but I got to this point and I'm a little lost. Is there any way that you may be able to add value to me, teach me something? I'm just really open to learning. I have found that approach to work tremendously because a lot of people fail to realize, like, people who are really successful are really busy. Like, they don't have the time to just sit around and like give out the information that they worked really hard to get. So the more steps you can just take on your own and take the initiative and become a little more curious, you'll start to understand and meet people that align. There's local groups in your community on things like Meetup that you have to just take the initiative to really get out there and put yourself on the forefront to get the information that you need from different people. But like I said, I have all these different types of consultations. I think it would be amazing if you are at the point where you have no idea where to start, you need help fixing your credit, you need help in these different areas, book the consultation and I promise you it will be worth it. You'll get a PowerPoint deck at the end and you'll be able to have the steps that are necessary, a roadmap to get where you need to be.